My name is Rachel, and I never thought a single text message from my mother could shatter me the way it did. We'd never been the closest, but we were still family. Or at least, I thought we were. It all happened a month before her wedding, her second marriage, to a man named Thomas, someone she'd met at a charity gala less than a year ago. My father had passed away 5 years earlier, and although I wanted her to be happy again, I couldn't shake the feeling that she was rushing into this relationship too fast. Still, I supported her. I helped with the invitations, the floral choices, even picked out her dress with her. I thought it meant something, that maybe, after years of emotional distance, we were finally healing. But then came the message that tore everything apart. It was a Thursday morning. I was making breakfast for my 2 kids, Ella and Max, when my phone buzzed. It was a text from Mom. I smiled, expecting a reminder about the cake tasting that weekend. But when I opened it, my stomach dropped. It read, "Rachel, please don't come to the wedding. You and your kids just make things awkward. I hope you understand." At first, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe she'd meant to send it to someone else, or maybe it was some cruel joke. But as I reread it, my chest tightened. No, she meant every word. I stood frozen, staring at the message while my daughter tugged on my sleeve, asking for pancakes. My mother didn't want me, or my children, at her wedding. I tried calling her immediately, but she didn't answer. I left 3 voicemails, each more desperate than the last. Hours later, she finally replied with a simple, "Rachel, please respect my wishes. I don't want any tension on my big day." Tension? What tension? I'd never argued with Thomas, never said a bad word about their relationship. My kids adored their grandmother. I spent the next few days replaying every interaction in my head, trying to figure out what I'd done wrong. The only thing I could think of was that Thomas had never been particularly warm toward me, polite, yes, but distant. Maybe he didn't like that I was cautious about how quickly things were moving. When I told my husband, Mark, what happened, he clenched his jaw. "She doesn't deserve you, Rachel. Don't beg for a seat at a table that should have been set for you in the first place." He was right, but it didn't make it hurt less. This wasn't some acquaintance or coworker, this was my mother. Days passed, and the wedding invitations started appearing on social media. My cousins posted about how excited they were to attend, showing pictures of their dresses, the venue, the decorations, everything I had helped plan. Every post felt like a knife twist. Finally, I decided to do something I never thought I'd do. I showed up at her house the week before the wedding. She opened the door, surprised to see me. "Rachel," she said, frowning slightly. "You shouldn't be here." I swallowed the lump in my throat. "I just need to understand, Mom. Why would you tell me not to come? What did I do?" She sighed, avoiding my eyes. "It's not you," she said finally. "Thomas thinks you being there would make things uncomfortable. He says you're still holding on to the past. He feels judged." I stared at her, stunned. Judged? For what? Because I miss Dad? Because I still have his photo up in my living room? She looked away, silent. My voice broke. "You're choosing his comfort over your own daughter?" She winced but said nothing. That silence told me everything. I nodded slowly, tears burning my eyes. "Okay," I said softly. "I understand." And I left. The wedding day came, and I spent it at home with my kids. We baked cookies, played board games, and tried to ignore the ache that hung in the air. But later that evening, as I was tucking Ella into bed, my phone rang. It was my cousin Mia, she was at the wedding. Her voice was shaking. "Rachel, you won't believe what just happened." Apparently, right after the ceremony, during the reception, Thomas got up to give a speech. In the middle of it, one of his old friends, a woman no one recognized, stood up and started shouting. She accused him of lying about his past, about being married before, about money he'd stolen. The entire room erupted into chaos. The woman even had documents. The truth was out, Thomas wasn't who he claimed to be. He had a criminal record in another state, under a different name. Guests started leaving, and within an hour, the entire wedding had fallen apart. My mother was humiliated. I sat there in stunned silence, listening to Mia describe the scene. He disappeared before the police showed up, she said. Your mom's devastated. My heart twisted. Despite everything, she was still my mother. The next morning, I woke up to a knock on the door. When I opened it, she was standing there, eyes red, makeup smeared, still wearing the same dress from the night before. Without saying a word, she burst into tears and hugged me tightly. I'm so sorry, she sobbed. You were right about him. I just didn't want to be alone. I thought if I pushed you away, maybe he'd love me more. I held her, my own tears spilling. Mom, I said quietly, you never had to earn love by losing your family. In the weeks that followed, she moved in with us temporarily. She helped with the kids, cooked dinner, and slowly started becoming part of our lives again. It wasn't easy, forgiveness takes time, but she never stopped trying. Now, a year later, we laugh about how life has a strange way of revealing truth when we least expect it. That text once broke me, you and your kids make things awkward, but in the end, it wasn't me or my children who made things awkward. It was the truth she refused to see. And though that night destroyed her wedding, it rebuilt something far more important, our family.